Video game franchise makes over $135 million worldwide. But yet, we got layoffs. Gotta be talking about Marvel Rivals. Yo, what are we waiting on? Roll that intro, cuz. Yeah. Yo, what's going on, Geek Corner? This is your boy, Earthsmack, the Mad Scientist, and welcome back to the Orange Phoenix Media channel, where we talk about all things of geek culture, whether it's live or recorded, pro wrestling, video games, anime, manga, you name it, we nerd it. Do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell. That way you get notified on all of our content. Like I said earlier, whether it's live or recorded. Now, you already know we're going to jump in the most recent news of Marvel Rivals. Now, you know Marvel Rivals, right? If you haven't played Marvel Rivals, I strongly encourage you guys to go out there and play it, because a lot of people calling it the Overwatch killer. Now, I have played Overwatch 1. I haven't played Overwatch 2, because just by looking at Overwatch 2 and Overwatch 1, I was like, what is the difference? What are you doing? Why? Am I wasting my money here? And apparently, it seems like it is a waste of money, because the minute that Marvel Rivals was released, a lot of people jumped ship from point A to point B and then enjoying themselves, and they're not getting nickel and dime. That seems to be the winning formula. Maybe we should have been doing this whole entire time, right? Yeah! But today, we got some controversy. You know what I mean? We got some controversy with layoffs. You made $135 million, and you mean to tell me there's layoffs? But according to comicbook.com, it says despite the meteoric rise of success of Marvel Rivals this year, the development team from NetEase behind the hit title has now been hit with layoffs. More specifically, the Seattle team, led by one of the game directors of Marvel Rivals, Thaddeus Sasser, has seemingly been let go alongside other members of the team, which, as far as we've seen, have been level designers. No official comment from NetEase or Marvel has been made as of yet. Unfortunately, the news comes just after the team showcased their next big patch, which pertain to currency changes and conversion within Marvel Rivals. That is some diabolical work. You know what I'm saying? They just announced a big patch with currency and conversion, but you know what? We're going to fire these people over here.
You raggedy bitch.
You're like, what are we doing here? What exactly is happening? Because the gaming industry has always been, unless in recent memory, very, very fickle. You think your job is secure. You think your job is safe because of success of the game that you helped create. And then the next thing you know it, you're getting fired. Like, this is diabolical work. Now, in a LinkedIn post, one of Marvel's game directors, Thaddeus Sasser, commented on the situation. He said, and I'll quote, "This is such a weird industry. My stellar, talented team just helped deliver an incredibly successful new franchise in Marvel Rivals for NetEase Games, and we're just laid off." He said, "Oh, well, times are tough all over. Let's find these incredible people new jobs because we all need to eat," right? Listen, my thing is this. Thaddeus is taking this better than what I thought it would. You know what I mean? I know NetEase is like a Chinese company, and I know the Seattle team that worked very hard for level design for that. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like the level design for Marvel Rivals is actually pretty decent. It's actually pretty good. You know, you have destructible environments, and the environments actually rebuild itself. But I will say though, this is very crappy, man. This is very crappy. You made $135 million. I cannot stress that enough. $135 million, and you mean to tell me you cannot pay your team? You are forced to lay them off, and then they're in charge of level designs. But it is what it is. And it goes on to say that the news of the layoff does come as a complete surprise, given the rapid success of Marvel Rivals since its launch this past December. The PvP superhero shooter hit big at gamers at first, letting them play as their favorite heroes like Spider-Man, Hawkeye, Popular, Jeff the Land Shark. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you play Spider-Man or Jeff the Land Shark, if I see you out on the street, it's going to be a misunderstanding. You understand? It's going to be a misunderstanding because I hate your guts. That's all I'm going to tell you. I hate your guts. Now, back to it. It says just last month in January, the game released its first season, which added the highly anticipated Fantastic Four, which includes, of course, Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, Human Torch, and The Thing as playable characters. Unfortunately, the trend of layoffs in video game industry are not uncommon, especially now. Just recently, 1010 Games, the team behind the Funko Fusion, had mass layoffs due to the failure of their first title. Here's the thing. Failure of the first title, because man, listen, that's a game I actually wanted to play. I wanted to play Funko Fusion and I completely forgot about it. I haven't seen any more ads about it. I haven't seen any like YouTube players like playing it, content creators playing it, anything like that. It just really went over my head, and maybe that's the reason of the failure. Maybe it wasn't the team itself. Maybe it was the public relations. Maybe it was the marketing. Because when this was announced at the Game Awards and other award shows and other showcases, maybe you should have kept it going. Maybe you should have kept people abreast of the situation and keep on putting that stuff out there. Now, it says that in January, over 1,900 employees from Microsoft were laid off, which is true, likely due to the acquisition of Activision. It's unknown how big the layoff for the Seattle team will be on the ongoing development of Marvel Rivals, but it's unfortunate that those who helped bring the project to life won't be able to be a part of it anymore. Now, let's talk about impact. We don't know what type of impact these layoffs are going to have on our gameplay, on how we enjoy Marvel Rivals, because it's so far, it seems as though it's not really much of a dent. You know what I'm saying? It's highly unfortunate that these employees lost their jobs, especially after a successful launch, and I mean super successful launch. And I mean, just look at the pull up the numbers right here. Right now, as it stands on Steam, it has 298,264 players playing right now. That's not counting PlayStation, okay? That's not counting Sony, whatever, you know, it's not counting any of that. So if you look at these numbers, man, the amount of players that are playing this game, the amount of success that you have, I can completely understand if it's an acquisition, like the whole deal with Activision. Because when you acquire another company, unfortunately, that comes with the territory. Unfortunately, layoffs happen. I can understand a failure in a game's launch or the continuing failure of a video game. I can understand those layoffs. I can understand that. But you can't tell me it's understandable of layoffs when you got a hugely successful video game in Marvel Rivals that everybody and their mama is playing. What is the excuse? What is the reason for laying off all these employees?
You raggedy bitch.
Like, what did they fail at? Like, because again, it says it came as a complete surprise to most people. I mean, to everybody. So as a player, we're paying attention to this because as a player, you're very concerned that there might be some cracks in the wall, and maybe our game that we enjoy so much will suffer. Only time will tell. I don't think it's going to affect the game like that. I think when this news broke, you know, it did raise some red flags. It did raise some alarms because typically when there are layoffs like that, the game itself is the main thing that suffers. You know, with these developers, especially with the talent that they have, especially with the success that they have with Marvel Rivals, I feel like, and I hope and pray that they find a job like yesterday. I hope other gaming developers hire them on the spot. Or maybe they create their own company and do their own thing because, you know, it is what it is. Only time will tell what will happen with Marvel Rivals. So I'll say continue to keep playing Marvel Rivals, continue to enjoy Marvel Rivals. And if you do notice any differences in there, you already know what to do. You already know to hit that complaint. But don't be out here being a troll. Don't be a troll, okay? Don't go out here saying, oh, the game is trash because you're actually trash at the game. Don't do that. Don't do that. But we'll see what happens. Only time will tell.